Hi there, this is Chris reporting for NFTplazas.com, the number one website for NFT news. Today I'm joined by an OG of he's one of the founders and leaders of NonFungiblecom, introducing
Gauthier the Pager, aka Zoop. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's incredible to realize that 4 years later we are still there and we are growing. I mean, we've discovered DCL Plaza at that time 4 years ago. We are part of the decentralized mafia, and that's just incredible to see basically what we've built. I mean, we are part of that. We are part of this growth. We are some sort of a driver, I think. That's incredible. Yeah.
I think it's amazing to see how far we've both come. So in the very, very early Decentraland days, and also I think previously NFT Plazas was named DCL Plazas, for those that don't know. We started around about the same time as NonFungiblecom. We were really deeply involved in the community, and it's been fantastic to grow alongside such a great household name such as NonFungiblecom.
I mean, do you remember at that time when you were talking about NFTs, about non-fungible tokens around you, everyone was like, what the hell is that? That doesn't make any sense. That's some sort of asset on the blockchain. But now, just look at that. Everyone's crazy about NFTs. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we are really part of the revolution. And you have been part of that too.
Thank you. So, for those people who already know NonFungiblecom, I don't know where you've been hiding, but if you don't know NonFungiblecom, do you want to tell maybe the audience a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So basically, NonFungiblecom, we are the largest data platform in the world about NFTs. So we don't create NFTs, we don't sell NFTs, we just basically analyze markets. We are some sort of a Bloomberg for NFTs, you know? So for over 4 years now, we have been analyzing the market year by year. So recently we have published the largest report about NFTs, which is basically a book of about 200 pages. Yeah, that's a pretty massive one, man. And basically our goal is really not to, just advertise for NFTs, just to bring more transparency, to help the ecosystem grow in a healthy manner. So we're not a regulator. We are more something like a, trusted third party. So today what we do is that we provide different kind of services around data, like portfolio valuation. So we help, large collectors get a notion of the value of the assets. We help extremely large companies, corporations, and banking group to understand what is at stake in the NFT industry. So, we don't give any financial advice, but we are able to tell you what are the best practices. 4 years, we have seen so many rise and fall. We know what works, what doesn't work, and why. So that's basically what we are.
Absolutely. So, can you tell me what works and why? Give me an example, a really good example, currently, maybe of a current trend.
Absolutely. I mean, if you take the example of, metaverses. Metaverses is definitely an expanding, a booming segment of the NFT space. It's not only just, about, putting some parcels somewhere in a virtual world. It's about, a long-term vision. As long as you know exactly why you are building that, as you know that it's going to bring long-term value to the owners, yeah, there is something here. So that works. For example, the Sandbox, Decentraland, they have a long-term vision. It's not a money grab. Money grab don't work anymore. Just, issuing 10K something just for the sake of making money, you're done with that. But if you are able to tell your owners that if they own that in, a couple of days, in a couple of months or years, in 10 years from now, that will change their life. And it's totally possible. And honestly, that's what happened even to me when I purchased, these decentralized parcels 4 years ago. I mean, I was not, about to think that it was going to change my life. And that's basically what happened.
I think what tends to happen is when you get into NFTs at the beginning, you fall down the rabbit hole, and it's very difficult to get out. But in order to get out, you need to want to get out, and nobody wants to get out. It's a great place to be at the moment.
And the thing is that you can't really get out because, with NFTs are not just one kind of object. NFTs are everything you can even imagine, just in a digital way. I mean, your ID, your degree, a video game asset, an artwork can be an NFT. A certificate of ownership for your house can be an NFT. So there is almost no limitation for NFTs. So honestly, being an expert as NFTs is extremely complex because you discover new things every day. I mean, I'm in the space for 4 years. I learn things every day. I learn new projects. I mean, I don't know some of my neighbors here. just because there are new projects, new initiatives, new possibilities every day. So it's a endless rabbit hole, actually.
So, for anybody who hasn't used your platform before, can you maybe give me an idea of some of the data sets that you collect and how you might use them to, I guess, give investors or collectors an idea of where the trends are and maybe a few tips on that?
Yeah, sure. But the interesting part with data in NFT is that you don't necessarily have to be an expert. There are some extremely basic notions of, the volume of USD traded, how many active wallets, this kind of thing, where basically everyone knows basically what it means. But for, more advanced users, we have some, metrics like the liquidity rate. So what is the liquidity of this collection, of this segment? What is the retention? So the loyalty of the community on a specific project. More recently, in the report, we have included some metrics about the profitability of the space. So for each project, for each segment, we are able to tell you if people are actually losing money or making money. And the interesting trend at the end of 2021 is that in the art segment, we've seen people starting to lose money for the first time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was at a boom for quite some time.
Yeah, art is still an extremely mature and extremely massive segment. But the thing is that a lot of newcomers and new investors arrived and just invested way too much. So they basically took risk they were not ready to take. And the thing is that when you are really at risk, financially speaking, you don't necessarily react in the best way possible. So if the market decreases by 5%, you just panic and you sell everything at loss. That's basically what happened. All these people arrived and considered that they could make millions in a couple of days. It's not that easy. So you basically have to know where to invest, what to purchase, these kind of things. But there is a lot of mythology around NFTs. You can make money one day like that, and for some people it just doesn't make any sense because a Bored Ape doesn't exist, a CryptoPunk doesn't exist, and Decentraland is just a couple of images of JPEG. But we know there is more than that.
Of course we do. Yeah. So I guess my next question was, you guys have literally been building the data collection tools over the years. If you're first to market and you're first to delivering these levels of data, can you tell me a bit about the process and the difficulties and the challenges that you've had to collect all this data and be the first to do it?
So yeah,
smiling.
Oh yeah, there is definitely a massive challenge because and it's not to brag about it, but everything we do at Fungible is the first time in the history that someone did do that. So basically, when we started tracking, the ERC-721 standard on Ethereum, no one, was able to help us because no one did that before. We have started scrapping something that was born a couple months ago. So basically, we discover everything on our own. And that's in our efforts, in our philosophy, we don't rely on any third party. We only scrap data on the blockchain immediately. We don't rely on any API at all. So everything you see on our platform is really from the blockchain. We are now supporting Ethereum, running Flow, and for each of them, we scrap directly the blockchain. So we do have, these extremely massive nodes. And for each blockchain, we do have nodes. We do download everything. We have the entirety of the blockchain. And so we'll be supporting, Solana, Tezos, and all these other chains will be doing the same. We want to, remain this trusted third party that doesn't rely on anyone else. So that's a huge challenge.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, everything is so new. There is not real standards. Even on ERC-721, there are some, weird use of this standard. There is a new standard. There is the ERC-11. Every day you have new standards. So our basically goal is to identify which of these standards are going to stay long, because some may just appear and disappear. So when we invest time in supporting a new standard, in scrapping high quality data, we need to ensure that it's for a long run.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So I'm aware you're busy, so we'll keep this quick. Final question for you.
Yeah, no worries.
What should we expect from NonFungiblecom in the? Let me start again. What should we start? What should we expect from NonFungiblecom in a not too distant future?
So basically, in the next few months, you will see more and more new blockchains. So basically, by the end of the year, I think we'll have something like 99% of the entire NFT activity cross-chain, which will be a grand premiere. And on the other end, we are working on a super secret project that is not that super secret. It's about evaluating NFTs in real time through machine learning. It's a technology we already have. We are currently evaluating some of the largest portfolios in the world using this technology. We are still fine-tuning a couple of stuff, but basically by the end of the year, everyone will be able to get a real accurate notion of what is the value of your NFTs. And I know there are some tools today to assess NFTs, mostly based on floor price or OpenSea API. We'll base our valuation on real market history, on what is actually sold at what price, and not on how the sellers evaluate the assets. So we know that at that point that will be really game-changing for us and for the NFT space.
I can see that being game-changing for the industry as a whole, to have such powerful tools at your fingertips. So thanks so much for taking the time to speak to me today. If anybody wants to find NonFungiblecom, where can they find you?
Basically, you can find us in a lot of events. In Paris, we'll be in New York at the NFT NYC conference. And of course, you can go to NonFungiblecom. We are on Discord, on Twitter, on Reddit, on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn. We're almost everywhere.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for your time today. This is Chris from NFTplazas.com. Please follow, like, subscribe, and yeah, catch you on the next one.